Welcome back to episode number 8 for Ignacio Talks. It's been about 3 years since I recorded the last episode, but the purpose of this is to just document my life and my journey as a musician, artist, and entrepreneur. Today, I'm just going to be catching you guys up on what's happened in the past 3 years because it's been a lot. If you haven't seen episode 1 through 6, I believe they're still on Spotify, even though I might delete them, or at least I might take them down because I don't know. I don't know if I want to. Well, I guess never mind. You know what? I'll just be vulnerable. That's what this is about. Being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, and just being truthful, telling the truth. So, you could see my mentality and where I was back in 2018, 2019 on those episodes. But anyway, I don't have a written program, so this is all off the dome. I'm great at improvising, so this is probably going to be a long episode. But damn, for those of you who do not know me, I am Ignacio Guillen Calderon. Ignacio Guillen Calderon. I got one first name and 2 last names. One's my dad's, one's my mom's. I'm 23 right now. Currently, I'm an Amazon seller. I sell shoes and clothing on Amazon. I also sell clothing and shoes on eBay. So my industries are e-commerce, real estate, content, and music, investing, business. I love investing. I love business. I love music. But over the past 3 years, damn, let's take it back to 2019, because I really think that's when the last episode was. I'll go ahead and check just to make sure, but 2019 was my last year of college. It's my last year in college. So, this is almost 4 years after college. After me dropping out of CSUN University. CSUN University? No, I mean Cal State. See? I forgot. No, CSUN. It's CSUN. All right. When was my last episode? Let's see when my last episode was. Ignacio Talks. No, it says self. Oops. Ignacio Talks to the Animals. That's funny. There's a story on Spotify called that. Anyway, my last episode was actually September 1st, 2020. That was the last episode. The last episode before that was June 30th, 2020. Dang, so this is pandemic. Oh, actually, so I started this during the pandemic. And there's actually only 2 or 3 episodes. My introduction, the very first introduction, hello, was December 19th, 2019. So, damn, I've put off so much time on avoiding content. I've just avoided content for almost 3-4 years, That's crazy. I started my first YouTube channel, my actual legit YouTube channel, where I started posting content in 2019 too. So it's cool to be here again and just continue making content because I enjoy making content. Raise your hand if you're one of the OG kids that grew up with YouTube. I was one of those. The other day I was looking at an interesting fact. YouTube was born on February 14th in 2005. So when I was 5 years old. And I found out about YouTube maybe around 2020. No, not 2020. I mean 2007. So when I was 7 years old. And I grew up watching YouTube. I saw the evolution of YouTube and content and personal brand, and I saw all of it. So it's in my head, and you know, watching those videos when I was young just inspired me to want to be here talking to this camera, But so the last episode was 2020, and dang, 2020 was crazy. Who doesn't remember 2020? I just remember it was March 12th or March 13th. My brother and I went to and my friend Adrian, we all went to a Tame Impala concert, which was epic. It was the last concert before the pandemic. And what was crazy was that they performed at the Forum. Now it's called the Kia Center, I think, or something, here in LA. But I remember we were the last of the last people to go to a concert pre-pandemic. Literally a couple days after that, or I think we went on a Tuesday, but the Wednesday show was canceled, and then by the weekend everybody was on shutdown, went on lockdown, I mean. And it was crazy because for the very first time also during that time, I had my first hiatus from banda. Now, what is banda, you might be asking? Banda is just a translation for the word band. Banda is band, but in Spanish. So I play in a banda, and the style of music, to describe it, we're literally an orchestra, and it's interesting because many banda musicians do not look at the setup as an orchestra. Many of the musicians that participate in the art of banda do not really dedicate their lives to banda. Banda is like, I'm generalizing a little bit here, but there are musicians in Mexico and in the United States that are able to take care of their families thanks to music. Now, the point I'm bringing here is that many musicians don't just live off music. Now, although there's a select few, and maybe I would say it's 20% out of 80% of the musicians that exist that dedicate themselves fully to music. Now, the other 80% is like me, that are hybrids, Maybe in the past we were devoted to music, but now we still carry that passion for music, but we're focused on new ideas and new endeavors because it's okay to outgrow passions and to find new ones. Now, for me, I'm in this hybrid model right now where I'm playing music, but I'm also working 50 to 60 hours on my business. That's like 8 to 10 hours a day, even more sometimes, to building my business, So the sooner I get my business up and running, come on, Ignacio, you can do this. The sooner I can spend those 10 hours playing clarinet. Started playing music because that's when I started getting lessons, and that's when I started to devote my life to it. Before that, I had dabbled in music. I had drums at home. I had instruments at home. My dad is also a musician, so I always saw music around me. There was always music going on around me. And I turned 7, okay. I start playing the accordion, the clarinet, and the trumpet within the same year. I can't really give you the timeline. But so from that moment on, for the next 13 years, almost every weekend from the age of 7 to, well, even now, 23. So from the age 7 till present, you know what? I won't say 7. 7's when I started, but I didn't really start gigging until about a year into my musical career. And so as a second grade, third grader, I was already playing at people's quinceañeras, people's weddings, people's literally everything, literally every type of event you could think of, a fair, what else? Parades, literally everything. I performed at schools, at universities, because at banda nights, for those of you who know what banda nights are. Um, but yeah, so from 2007 up until 2020, I had literally never taken a break. Every weekend was packed with either performances or just festivals that I would compete in with music, with like the music programs at school. So literally music has always been part of my life, and it's a big part of my life now too. It always has been and it always will be. And sometimes I get lost in my mind and I get distracted and I just forget that, this is me. Music is me, and I love to express myself through music. That is why I don't think I'll ever stop playing music. But it's 2020 and then the pandemic starts, and for the very first time, I get like a 3-month hiatus of no gigs. Literally all performances in my life canceled. Now, although I also wasn't making any income during this time because, damn, I mean, if you can't perform and you're a independent self-contractor, then you're definitely not going to be making income. And let me go ahead and close this door because my dog just came into my room. But up until this point, literally I had 3 months off. That was pretty epic, not going to lie. It was one of the greatest times of my life, even though I know it was a pretty like dark time in the world. I say dark, but it's just because there was a lot of chaos and nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew how severe this virus was. And, many people did leave, to the afterlife. Like many people did lose their life. Many people did, suffer from this virus that was going around. But for me, it was just nice to finally be home and not think about gigging or performing or being on stage. And it was crazy because this was also the second semester of me being out of college. So at the fall of 2018 into the spring 2019 semester, I was gone already. My last day in college was like May, let's just say like towards the last days of May 2019. So, okay. So to get the timeline correctly, my actual last semester of college was in the spring semester of the year 2019. Then for the fall semester of 2019 and the spring semester of 2020, I was already gone. So it was pretty cool, it was a cool time because, I didn't really have to do any Zoom university stuff, I was already gone. And I'm not saying that I stopped educating myself, because during this time, well, my whole life, my source of entertainment, where I get all my knowledge and everything I learn, a lot of it comes from YouTube, and that's just how I learn. I learn by listening. I learn by viewing too, but by listening to videos and just picking a couple entrepreneurs and people that I respect. I would just listen to them, and that's where I was getting a lot of my education, from entrepreneurs that were doing things that, just felt right to me. And what is that? E-commerce. That's one thing. So during this time, I also devoted a lot more of my time towards building a business online. And currently still working on that. I'm not giving up on my online business. Never going to give up on selling clothes and shoes, because that's what I'm passionate about. But in 2020, no income's coming in, no, nothing, literally nothing. And at the same time, I'm just kicking it, at home, because no one can really go out, no one really can go out. But during this time, I remember I even got COVID in August of 2020. But yeah, during this time, I just reflected, and even till now, over the past 3 years, I've dabbled into e-commerce. I've dabbled into, to get more specific in what type of e-commerce, I've done drop shipping. I've drop shipped products from eBay to Facebook. I've also drop shipped from Amazon to Facebook. I tried that for like a little bit, but I realized that was not the right way to, that was not the business model I was trying to run. So now, rather than reselling Amazon products, I resell name brand products. So like Nike, Adidas, Converse, Lego, these big brands, all of these big brands, and I sell them. I sell them now, and at the same time, I also sell pre-owned clothing. The people I look up to for this type of business model is Tech and Sports and Daily Refinement. They have developed an amazing clothing and business. An amazing buying and selling business for clothing. They facilitate clothing on an extreme level, bringing in over 200 sales a day. And I believe they merchant fulfill everything too. What does merchant fulfill mean? It means that they have an operation. They have warehouse. They have their own warehouse where they store their inventory, where they have their own team helping them prep and ship those products on time. And that just fascinates me. I know that that's something that I want to build towards. Why? I don't know. I've always loved clothing since I was young. I've always liked fashion as well, even though now I have more of a minimalistic style. I still like to wear clothing because of how it allows you to express yourself, and it just ties in with like the artistry in me, and everyone too. We dress the way we dress because it's a reflection of how we feel. It's a reflection of who we are. And yeah, clothing is just one of my favorite things. Now, that's what I'm working on now. In the present, I'm currently, I've sold in the past 12 months close to $280,000 worth of merchandise on Amazon. And the previous 2 years, I also did over, I'm lying. So 2021, I start my journey of drop shipping. And damn, the timeline is kind of blurry. I know this is just a me, Ignacio Talks. In the future, definitely will make a video explaining the timeline better. Like a more smaller, short form version of the timeline. Maybe like a 2 to 5 minute one. But yeah, this is long format. This is for someone to listen to while they're driving or, just in the background. Because I can talk forever. I like to talk. But it's 2021. I start my Facebook dropshipping business. Now, this, after a year, slowly died down. But in my first 12 months of doing that business model, I did over 100,000 in sales. So 2021 was when I got my feet wet with e-commerce, and when I started to pursue different types of e-commerce. Because before that, so now let me give you another timeline. 2016, 2017, I start going to thrift stores, and I also start selling shoes from so let me scratch that. 2017, I start selling Supreme. There we go. 2017, I see my friends at school. I see some of the kids some of the hypebeasts at school, um, flexing their stuff, and it just interested me because, well, one, I think it's dope that they're young and can afford it. Two, um, it's just like it's limited edition, so I guess you get some sort of FOMO effect. But yeah, so it was cool because they were cool enough to also like, tell me what they were doing. So, I just remember seeing my friends, like, shout out to my friend Justin and Jonah and Chris, that were some of the people that well, yeah, they just are resell that. They're some of the guys that like planted the seeds in my brain of like reselling, because they were doing it. They were early on it. They were camping at Supreme. They were getting all these limited edition Jordans, and they just were doing it. And I remember I was like, damn, I want to learn. So it was dope that they're my friends now. That the fact that I could still text them and say what's up, and like we could hang out. I appreciate that greatly. So shout out to you two. You three. But the only thing that I realized by selling limited edition and small, scarce amount of inventory was that, well, there wasn't much demand. I mean, there was high demand, but there was like low supply. So that's what kind of like got me to transition to selling like general products, because sometimes, well, one, it was hard to get that product. It was hard to, check out on your mobile device. It was definitely hard to even run bots. I remember I tried to learn how to bot like websites so that I could purchase grandiose amounts of inventory. But yeah, that just never worked. I remember there were a couple times where I gave up on reselling and just just took some time away. But for me, I know that Amazon and selling clothing is something I'm passionate about, and I've done for the past 5 years. So I'm going to continue building a business doing that, facilitating clothing. But so overall, in the past 3 years of selling, in the last 2 years of selling, so 2021, 2022, and 2023. So in the past 3 years, I've sold close to, just, to give the low estimate, I would say close to 400,000 to 450. So around there, I've sold almost a quarter. I mean, almost at $500,000 of inventory online. And, it's been epic. It's been epic. And although that number sounds insane, how many zeros is that? 5 zeros? 5 zeros and 1 5. So 500,000, close to $500,000 in merchandise. Although I've probably only seen about, I would say about, on the low end, let's say like a 5 to 6%. Let me just give you that quick number. So and this is like net, like after expenses, after everything. This is net, like, this is just net like take home. I'm going to say 5% because it's on the low end. It's probably like 25,000. Yeah. So I've seen about $25,000 worth of that. And now, have I kept that in my pocket? No. A lot of that has been spent recklessly. Let me take that back. Not recklessly, because a lot of that has just been reinvested into myself, to develop myself as a person. And that's through taking courses, through getting mentors, and networking and consultation calls too with resellers that are doing it big. So although you could say I'm not seeing the fruits of my labor. And although sometimes I feel down and sad because I'm like, damn, bro, like some days I'm like negative. Like I'm not even making money, like breaking even on inventory, losing money on inventory. It sucks. And it's an emotional roller coaster that you have to be, very strong minded in order to be able to handle the stress. So in the last 3 years, I've made almost about $25,000 with reselling stuff online. And I want to make this a full-time gig. Some of the mentorships I'm looking into for the future is the daily refinement and tech and sports one, because I really, really, really want to build a great Amazon and eBay store. So tech and sports, for example, I know has experience selling 7 figures worth of merchandise on Amazon, and also just his attitude and his behavior and his discipline just motivates me as well. I mean, just seeing the way he operates is insane, and it just drives me too. It definitely motivates me when I'm sourcing, when I'm listening to their podcast. So I'm definitely going to be investing into them, because here's one lesson that I learned from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is every entrepreneur's favorite book, I believe. It definitely was the first book I read on my own, and just like about business, But the one lesson that I learned from that book is that you have to invest into assets and not liabilities. By me investing into myself, that is an asset, because I'm becoming a better human. I'm becoming just a better human, bro. What else could I say? It's just you become better, and you by becoming better, and by becoming better, it just propels you forward. It makes you move the needle. Helps you move the needle. So although sometimes, like I said before, I look at the fact that I'm still living at home with my parents, and that I pay bills, but just the fact that I know in the future I want to be able to take care of myself, my future family, my future wife, my future. In my heart, I want to retire my parents too. I'm sure we all have that goal, but like, I just want to do all the big things in the world. I want to do big things. Who doesn't want to do big things? Am I right? But that book taught me that investing in myself is an asset. It's an asset, and the actual lesson, now that I think about it, that I actually learned was that besides leveraging debt, is that I had it at the tip of my freaking lengua. What was it? Damn, I guess it didn't teach me anything because I can't remember. No, I remember right now, but yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great book. Read that book. Now, over the last 3 years, though, real estate played a big part in my life. And I also mentioned that before. I mentioned that real estate was a big part of my life for 100 days. I'll give you guys more about the story right now. Let me go ahead and show you who my dog is, because she's here and she's a superstar. Millie the Bully. Here's my Millie. Say hi to YouTube. This is Millie. Millie the Bully. Now, think about that. I'm going to say it one more time. And I'm not a preacher, guys. I'm not preaching to the choir. I'm just a 23-year-old in LA that is just expressing his views on life. I'm nobody. I'm literally nobody. So I don't have any qualifications. Just speaking from the heart. Just speaking from the heart. From the heart. But it's easier to make more money than to save more money. And now, when I heard that just lit up my brain. It lit up a light bulb. Made me think about how it's true, You could live and just save $20 a month or whatever X amount, Or you could just become a person of higher standards and value by surrounding yourself with successful people who are doing big things in whatever you're interested. So whether you're interested in kinesiology or biology or chemistry or whoever, like whoever you look up to, think about the big guys. Like for me, for example, in the music space and just for just music, the 3 musicians that I look up to, and I have a poster up there on my wall of the 3 that resemble who I want to be. And that is Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and Eddie Daniels. Now, this poster also has the word virtuoso. Virtuoso. That's what I want to be. Now, what is a virtuoso? A person who is extremely skilled at something, especially at playing an instrument or performing. I'm performing right now for you. Talking to a camera online, expressing yourself vulnerably. Scary, but I'm here, I'm here performing this act. But guys, I'm going to be making more of these. And these will just be quick. This is not a podcast. Well, this is just me talking. That's why it's called Ignacio Talks. And yeah, I'm just talking about me, talking about my life. Now, here I give a little bit about me. But yeah, in the coming episodes, I'll just continue talking about myself, what I'm up to. And in the future, you could expect more content on building an e-commerce business, how to get started reselling, how to get started how to get started in real estate. I'm not the biggest real estate investor. I'm not. I only really pursued it for about 100 days. And the reason for that, come through. What's up? You need the printer? Shout out to my brother. Shout out to Jesus G.
Nacho Talks.
Nacho Talks. Yes, sir. But we ending the episode now. Damn, Luna. You guys want to meet Luna too? All right. You guys want to meet the whole fam? All right. Luna. There's my Luna. That's Luna. That's Luna. There's something to the mic. Oh, okay. She's out. But yeah, guys. Gonna be making lots of content. Lots of content. Thank you, Valencia. Lots of content. So, thanks for listening, guys. We're out. Peace. Time to make more videos right now.